First things first, I want to give a special thanks to Alex O'Neill and Liz Schnee for stepping up for me while I was too ill to record. It seems I narrowly avoided death this time, so let's do another one. One of my most highly requested videos is to do a ranking of all of the live-action Batsuits. Now, while my opinion on Batsuits has changed since this, I did actually do a video ranking all of the Batsuits. I'm not going to link it in the description though, look for yourself. You might find some other videos you might be interested in that you missed while you're on the journey. So before I redo that one to be more in line with my current opinions, to be honest, I'd quite like to wait until Robert Pattinson's Batsuit is released. Do you guys think you can wait that long? Comment below, let me know. Ah heck, Jeremy Jahns is gonna sue me now. So while I have ranked the live-action Jokers based on my opinion of their characters, I haven't ranked the different Joker looks yet. And hopefully Matt Reeves won't be using the Joker in his Batman film with Robert Pattinson, and hopefully we get to see something new, so I'm not gonna bet on the fact that we'll be seeing the Joker again. Or, well, a new live-action adaptation of that character after the Joaquin Phoenix version anytime soon. So I've picked 10 different Jokers, and while this list isn't exclusively live-action, it is cinematic. So there won't be any cartoonish Jokers on this list. Still very much staying within the realm of realism. So in 10th place, and this is a very, very low 10th place, this is the last place, and let me just express that there is several country miles between the rank 10th and the rank 9th on this list. So yes, the rotten bottom, number 10, Jared Leto. I really tried to like this appearance for the Joker. I really tried to reserve judgment until the actual film. I remember when I saw the reveal image of Jared Leto as the Joker, I had just gotten in from a night out, and I was absolutely smashed. And I remember just logging into my computer to tell friends on Facebook, had a great night guys, and I just saw this, and I just looked at it for a second, I was like, I have absolutely no idea what this is. I have no opinion on this. All I knew was that the Joker was now shirtless and he looked very different to the Heath Ledger version. And he had tattoos, but I just sat there just looking at it for a bit, shared it, and just said, I got nothing to say. I woke up the next morning realizing what had just been done to one of my favorite characters, and I just found it absolutely hilarious. He looked like one of those bootleg Looney Tunes t-shirts that you could buy at Camden Lock Market. It reminded me of those images of Bart Simpson with marijuana. So one of the primary offenders here with this design was the tattoos. Now, I think there is some decent design potential to giving the Joker tattoos. They could be little echoes of a life he once had. They could tell us a lot about who the Joker once was, and be really kind of a symbol that the Joker was once a normal person that got pushed over the edge. We could learn from his tattoos that maybe he had a daughter, maybe he loved his mother, maybe he had pets, maybe he had like a profession as a sailor or something. Imagine if he just had like a little anchor on him or something. Just subtle little indications of the tragedy of the fact that this was once an ordinary person who is now the Joker. But you know what they did instead? They wrote his name on his gut. They wrote damaged on his forehead, and it's all just there to signify that he's so crazy. There's a skull on his chest, there's ha 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 written everywhere. It really just belittles this character so much. So let's go through his wardrobe a little bit. I think his best outfit is definitely his black tail suit. It's the closest thing we really have to a proper Joker outfit, and they tried to sort of evoke that Alex Ross era Joker. I guess the outfit he probably spends the most of his screen time in this film is his glitter jacket, which is a glittery golden silver jacket with a pink shirt. Another outfit he has is this purple gator skin jacket which he wears, with sun and moon boxer shorts and no shirt underneath. This Joker rarely wore a shirt, he liked to show off his chest. And my issue with this here is it feels like almost a satire of the sort of glammed up, Americanized, idealistic Joker. And I know that the Joker's like an American character already, but it's like that cliche where the American film industry sort of takes an existing IP and adapts it without any of the charm that was there before, and they cast this hunkish rock star as a character that's not supposed to be that, all to appeal to an audience or a demographic that this character doesn't ordinarily appeal to. Oh yeah, and his hair is green, but it's neon green and it looks ridiculous. And I never really felt the need to see the Joker with a crew cut. This was just a desperate attempt to modernize the Joker for a new audience, but it removes everything that made the character timeless. And it's gonna look dated in T-, oh wait, it's already extremely dated. Ah, it gets worse. The more, like, I think about this, the more I, think about, is the teeth grill that he has. It's meant to be like capped teeth, which I guess it was a surprise that it took them this long to consider that the Joker would have lost teeth to Batman, but they're made to look sparkly and like a teeth grill, like something like what Lil Wayne would wear or something. How do you do, fellow kids? There's an interview with one of the designers where they said that they thought about using the purple suit, but it didn't work with the tattoos. Well, A, that's simply not true, as it would work just fine with the tattoos. What they said was that it would be just too much, but then how is a giant gator skin overcoat not too much, or a sparkly suit not too much? And if you gotta choose between these silly tattoos and the Joker's classic purple suit, come on, what would you choose? I just think this is atrocious. This is absolute hot garbage. This is the absolute most misguided attempt at modernizing a classic character, and it's frankly laughable. So, soaring up the ranks from this, you gotta think this is like the sewers. The rest of this is kind of, shall we say 3 stories above that? In 9th place, we have Joaquin Phoenix's look from the upcoming Joker film directed by Todd Phillips. It's probably not so fair to really include him in this list because he's not an official Joker, he's not an official DC Universe adaptation of the character. He is a character that is instead inspired by the Joker. But I'm going to include him anyway, just for the sake of entertainment. I don't think this is a bad design by any stretch, I think it's actually really cool. It's a cool reinterpretation of what the Joker could look like in this world. This is almost nothing like any Joker design that we've ever seen before, but I think it does take a few cues from Heath Ledger's Joker design. In that his skin clearly isn't bleached, this is definitely a clown paint makeup sort of a look. There's also the smeared smile and the long hair, and as I say, it's a really cool reinterpretation of the Joker. The classic Joker design and color scheme has been replaced, with more of a Pennywise sort of Ronald McDonald sort of a look. It's more of a generic clown look. He now has a red nose, red eyebrows, and blue around his eyes. Instead of a purple suit, he wears a red suit. The hair is still green though. While this is obviously an extremely huge departure from the classic Joker design, maybe even more so than the Jared Leto version, I'd say it's a better design altogether than the Jared Leto version because it keeps in line with all of the timeless qualities of the crazy clown look that the Joker is supposed to embody. This doesn't look like a desperate reach for a millennial audience. They haven't just taken an iconic design and decided to write all over him. And I just appreciate the creativity. Who knows, with the context of the film when it comes out, this may climb up the ranks a little bit, but for now I just prefer other looks. In 8th place is Cesar Romero's look as the Joker, and as far as a 1960s Joker goes, I don't think we could have asked for a much better look for this character. In terms of designs and appearances, the 1960s Adam West Batman TV show was a near one-to-one translation of what was on the paper at the time, and the Joker certainly fit in well with that. He looked great. I guess the things that I'm not quite so fond of by today's standards anyway, are the fact that you can see that Cesar Romero kept his moustache in this role, and the suit is a bit more pink than it is purple, but as far as the overall look goes, the whole shebang, this looks great. And it was a fine contrast to Adam West's Batman design. Rest in peace, Adam West and Cesar Romero, our beloved Cape Crusader and Clown Prince of Crime. In 7th place is the look that Heath Ledger had in The Dark Knight. There are some who say that Heath Ledger's Joker is not a valid depiction of the character because there's too much that is not like the Joker. For starters, he's wearing war paint as opposed to having bleached skin. Some others say that he takes more of his cues from Anarchy than he does the Joker. But then there's the other side of the spectrum that say that Heath Ledger is the only Joker and the absolute definitive Joker. And I don't really share either of those notions. Just focusing design-wise at the moment, I think Heath Ledger's Joker is the quintessential Joker for a real-world version of Batman. If the Joker existed in real life, this is pretty much how he would look. The reason he comes in this place on this list is simply down to preference. I prefer more of a surreal Batman. Now, as far as designs went in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, the Joker ends up being one of the more faithful to the comics in terms of his design and appearance. He is still immediately recognizable as the Joker, and all of those Joker design components are still in there. He's got green hair, he's got white face paint on, he's got red lips, and he wears a purple suit. It takes all of the design elements that we're familiar with the Joker and reinterprets them for the real world. So obviously bleached skin, that's not something that we've got here. We've instead got the war paint thing. And it's very sort of sloppily applied side as well. This is not a man who contours, and it gives the Joker this very terrifying sort of real-world grit sort of appearance. As for the purple suit, it's more like a business sort of a suit, but in purple with a long coat, as opposed to more of a showy sort of a tailcoat. This is not so much a circus clown, more of a symbol of terror. And that's really nicely translated in a design that is immediately recognizable as the character, while still adapting it into this real-world sort of a look. This look, teamed with a great script, teamed with a great performance from Heath Ledger, created a really good, pretty much quintessential film Joker. But based on looks alone, I just can't put it any higher than this due to preference. Remember guys, opinions are subjective. In 6th place is Roger Stoneburner. This name doesn't come up a lot when talking about the Joker, but Roger Stoneburner played the Joker in the Birds of Prey TV series. Well, he was the appearance of the Joker anyway. The voice was dubbed over by Mark Hamill. Roger Stoneburner is pretty much the appearance of the Joker, and he only appeared very briefly and we rarely got a very good look at him, but what we could see was that this was about as classic Joker as it got. The purple and orange suit is all there. He's got a nice creepy smile, and the hair looks very Killing Joke inspired, which is appropriate given that his main scene that he had in the Birds of Prey TV series was him taking revenge on Barbara Gordon by shooting her in the spine. Giving the Joker a look that was this classic was, I think, a really good idea considering how small the Joker's appearance was. He needed to be immediately recognizable, and that's exactly what he was. I really wish we could have seen more of this Joker, and gotten a better look at him, because from what we can see, he was extremely faithful to the classic design. In 5th place, we have Mr. J from Gotham. This was Cameron Monaghan's final appearance as a Joker-esque character in the series finale of Gotham. And part of what worked so well about Cameron Monaghan was that he was a very Joker-y looking person. He's got quite an accentuated chin and cheeks, he's got quite a wide but also long face, which can create a really nice range of different facial expressions that are all very Joker-ish. For this version of the character, he was completely in prosthetics, but in prosthetics that do kind of complement his appearance, which made for a very ghoulish version of the Joker. Being as they weren't allowed to use a comic book accurate version of the character, nor were they allowed to use the name of the Joker, the Gotham creative team had to improvise and make a new look for the Joker this time around. And this design asked the question, what would it really look like if a guy fell into a vat of extremely corrosive acid and survived? The answer? Probably this. The Joker's got his signature white face paint, red lips, purple and green color coordinated clothing, but there's only a few remaining strands of his green hair left behind, and his skin has some very visible damage. I really, at first, was actually very disappointed that they didn't go down the classic Joker route, as I wanted to see Cameron Monaghan fully embody that, and I felt like he definitely had the potential to be the definitive Joker. But I will say this new design really grew on me. This is probably the most terrifying the Joker has ever looked in live action. He kind of feels like Nosferatu meets the Arkham Joker, and I just really love this very ghoulish, very horror-esque looking Joker. As for the outfit, I will say I was a bit disappointed that they didn't deliver us that classic Joker purple tailcoat, as we haven't seen it since the Jack Nicholson Joker in live action. He instead wears a green sparkly suit with a purple overcoat over the top of it, because they weren't allowed to use the purple suit. Sometimes these compromises though can bring us a design that's very different but stands very well on its own 2 feet, which is exactly what this is. So our royalty-free knockoff Joke Man looks fantastic. In 4th place is Gotham's original Joker, Jerome Valeska. Once again, this is very much a reinterpretation of the Joker's original look. But this design instead asks, how can we channel the Joker without really using any of his iconic appearance? So first things first, the silhouette of Jerome Valeska is immediately recognizable as the Joker, and probably the closest thing we've ever gotten to the Arkham universe Joker. He's long, he's spindly in proportion, he wears a lot of tailcoats, none of which are in purple though. He's kind of a tailcoats and spats kind of a guy, just like the original Joker. He has the Joker's iconic spiky hair, which is spiky at the front and the sides and the back as well, something we'd never really seen before in live action, as they usually go for a slick back look or a long hair look. What I really liked about this was how they made a brand new design for the character that still felt suitable for it. Like, I guess if they'd announced ahead of time that this was the Joker, and this was what he was going to look like, I might have had a few issues at first. I might have said, that's not the Joker. But the way this design was used and utilized made me want it to be the Joker. I was willing to accept that this was just how the Joker looked in this universe. So Jerome's iconic Joker appearance is that he's had his face cut off and sewn or stapled back on, depending on what version you're looking at, which obviously takes a few cues from the New 52 Joker, but this is nowhere near as gratuitous and gory as the New 52 Joker. You can see where his face has been stretched out across his, well, his skull, I guess, and reattached because it creates this very wide Jokery grin. This was definitely my favorite mouth prosthetic that the Joker has ever had. I thought they nailed the Joker smile. And Jerome's outfits, as I said, were more consistent with the classic Jokers. They ranged from a red ringleader outfit to more of a breakfast suit, as seen in Season 4. This very much gave this version of the Joker character a very distinctive look, but one that certainly didn't suffer when alongside other Joker looks. In fact, it stood out, because there were Joker design elements that hadn't really been done in many live-action versions of the Joker before that were done better than ever here, such as the stretched grin, the spiky hair, the cut of his suits, and it all complemented Cameron Monaghan's natural appearance very nicely. While Jerome Valeska is my favorite live-action version of the Joker of all time, he comes here on this list because, well, preference is a factor when it comes to his appearance, and I am ranking these on appearance alone, so it wouldn't be fair for him to take that spot. In third place is Jack Nicholson's Joker appearance. As I said, I really love surrealism in movies and cinema, and Tim Burton went hard with the surrealism in Batman 89, bringing us a Joker whose appearance really evokes that Joker character. For starters, it's pretty much pure classic Joker, but they even went the extra mile by including prosthetics to give Jack Nicholson that wide Joker smile, the accentuated cheeks and chin. I don't think it's pulled off perfectly, but it is done really nicely, and I'm really grateful to see this effect teamed with the very classic looking Joker makeup. In terms of this Joker's wardrobe, again, it's very classic Joker. He's wearing the purple suit and it's the purple tailcoat like I really like, but this time it's with a bit more of an outlandish color scheme. While the purple is all there, and his shiny orange shirt is still there, his waistcoat and his bow tie are taking on much more of a turquoisey tone than the grass green that we're necessarily familiar with. It absolutely works though, and it's still very classic Joker. Another fairly major departure is the trousers. Rather than being the pinstripe trousers that we know and love, they are instead plaid, tartan-style trousers, but it absolutely works for the character. Allegedly, these trousers were the request of Jack Nicholson himself. But this isn't it for the Joker's wardrobe in Batman 89. He also wore more of a business gangster-style purple suit, as well as his black suit from early in the film. There are also sequences where the Joker has face paint over his deformed face to make him look human again, and this definitely gives off a very Jerome Valeska sort of a vibe. I get the feeling this was the inspiration for that. It looks just as sinister. In second place, we have Cameron Monaghan's second appearance in Gotham as Jeremiah Valeska. Now look, let's all be honest with ourselves here. Jeremiah Valeska has nothing on Jerome Valeska. Channel Pup is the home to roasting Jeremiah Valeska, but I'm not going to pretend they didn't nail a Joker look here. They absolutely nailed it. They smashed it. Who would have thought just going back to basics with Joker-esque makeup could make for one of the best live-action Joker designs? There's no prosthetic work here. Cameron Monaghan is just wearing white face paint, red lipstick, and eye contacts. The hair looks green, but it's actually a blend of different colors. Green enough to shut us fans up, but not green enough to get Warner Brothers on their tail for copyright. Cameron Monaghan has a naturally Jokerish face, so it doesn't really need prosthetics. And it just looks absolutely fantastic with this makeup on. It's just a dream come true. This was definitely the closest we got to having classic Joker in Gotham. And I think his look really came into its own come season 5 when they started giving him these very angular eyebrows. In terms of outfits, he's had a number of different looks. His main look in season 4 definitely gave me Two-Face vibes, in that it was half blue and half black. But I think my definite favorite suit, and it's definitely my favorite suit the Joker's ever worn, is the violetish blue suit that he wears in season 5's first half. It's highly glittery and highly flamboyant. A bit of a departure from the Joker's traditional threads, but at the same time very close, bears a very close resemblance. And it's just so creative and campy, and it's kind of iconic in its own right. And the glittery pinstripe trousers definitely suit Cameron Monaghan's more stick-like frame. This was as close as we ever got to the perfect live-action Joker. Now, I will just give a quick honorable mention to the Lego Joker from the Lego Batman movie as portrayed by Zach Galifianakis. I don't know, I give up. I appreciate the fact that rather than using the generic Lego Joker minifig that they use in the video games and other ends of the Lego Batman franchise, they gave him a unique design. And it's clear that a lot of thought has gone into this. I really like his pointy teeth, his exaggerated tails, and the skulls on the buttons of his waistcoat. I just really appreciate the creativity that went into this one, and it evokes the character very nicely. And in first place, if it wasn't obvious enough, here's the standard that I pretty much hold any and all on-screen Jokers too. It is the Joker from the Arkham video game universe as played by Mark Hamill. The Batman Arkham games are cinematic video games, and when it comes to cinematic video games, you can pretty much bring anything to life and get really creative with these designs. And those video games gave us the quintessential cinematic versions of some of these characters, with the design staying very faithful to the comic books, and the Joker was no exception, but as a matter of fact, the Joker was the gold standard for this. He looks like he leapt straight out of the pages of a Neil Adams Batman comic book, but at the same time he looks like a person that could actually exist. He looks kinda like a 1930s dandy, but turned into this crazy clown. We've got the purple suit and tailcoat, we've got the spats, the double-breasted flower yellow shirt. The suit is very tight-fitting and pinstripe, really accentuating how slim this Joker is and how stickly he is. He's got the long pointy face and chin, he's got the wide mouth, he's got these very vicious eyebrows, and that green spiky Joker hair. As well as that, for a video game character, he's extremely expressive in terms of the facial expressions, which complemented Mark Hamill's flawless performance perfectly. In later games, we also saw some scarring around the Joker's face, some very obvious sort of damage, from where a lot of his skin had eroded away due to Titan poisoning, and there's some swelling, some blistering, and it's a very terrifying appearance. Quite similar to the Joker's appearance in the Gotham finale in some ways. We also got a look at this Joker in his younger years in Batman Arkham Origins, and he looks just as fantastic there as he does here. He aged gracefully. What do you guys think? What's your favorite Joker design? Comment below and discuss, and as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button, and in the description below are links to my Patreon page and my Discord. It's good to be back. Channel Pup has been growing more than I could ever have anticipated over this very short space of time, and I'm absolutely honored to see so many viewers participating in discussions and really enjoying my little projects here. But it's not without its obstacles. I'm currently a student studying film and television, and if I want to afford the general costs that come with living, unfortunately YouTube revenue just can't always cut that cheese. I recently moved in with my girlfriend's family, but this is not a permanent thing, it's just for the summer. And last year I've done the whole act of balancing YouTube, balancing a job, and balancing university, and trust me, the content suffers every single time. So to support this channel to maintain the same quality of content and upload schedule, and to just keep making the stuff you guys really seem to be enjoying, I really do urge you to check out my Patreon link in the description below. And in return, you can get early access previews to the special Channel Pup events such as Marvelous Tales of Spider-Man Episode 2, as well as my upcoming Patreon exclusive playlist, Pup's Project Room, which is all unlockable with a pledge of just $1 or more. Now, the world's a tricky place. Not everybody is made of money, and that's fine. Just please be here for my videos. Please don't stop coming back to join me on these discussions, because it means so much to me, guys, really. Well, I guess I best be hitting the old dusty trail. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I've been Channel Pup, and I'll think of a better catchphrase next time. Now please leave me alone!